Shalom, this is Yair Davidiy, representing Brit-Am Hebrew Nations. Our organisation works to promote knowledge of the lost 10 tribes. We identify the lost 10 tribes of Israel as being amongst Western peoples. We also live in Israel. I live in Israel, and I have family here, and I've been here for most of my life. And I'm going to talk about something that concerns me and concerns the whole world. That is the state of Israel. The state of Israel now is under attack. It's under attack all over the world by all the media, by all the media means are attacking Israel, or most of them. They're accusing Israel of causing famine in Gaza, of people starving, of children suffering, and all kinds of terrible things, and they're being blamed for it. So first of all, it's not exactly that way. The people of Gaza are not starving. The supplies of food may have almost reached critical levels, but there was enough, or there was almost enough for most of the people most of the time. And Israel has been distributing the food to them, or directly through its own agents, or through UN people, or through other personnel and other aid groups. The food has been getting there, it's been given out. It's a problem that Hamas soldiers, Hamas activists were stealing the food, sometimes at gunpoint, taking the food. And if any Arab native of Gaza tried to stop them, he would be shot, wounded, or killed. And this was well known. You can see it on the internet. It's not something that's been kept secret. They're actually proud of it in a way. And they were reselling this food at a profit and was going to store them up, to strengthen their position in the community, that they had the money, that they had the supplies, and they'd give them out to whomsoever they wished to, all at the expense of Israel. But the people of Gaza, this was apparently considered normal behaviour. That's what they would do if they were in a similar situation. They understood this. The support for Hamas still reaches about 50%, according to recent polls that we have seen. Further with that, we should remember that at least 50% would leave tomorrow if they only could. And they want to. And if 50% of them would leave tomorrow if they could, the others, when they see their friends and family members leaving, would also mainly join them. So that is something we should be aware of. And it would be doing them a favour to have them get out of there. We should also note that the people giving the information as to the situation in which the people of Gaza are in, they're mainly Arabs, or they are UN people who are pro-Arab and anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic. Some of them are fanatically anti-Semitic. Muslims. Many Muslims are fanatically against the state of Israel because the state of Israel is not Muslim. So automatically someone who's not a Muslim is an enemy. Or they are do-gooders, lovey-doveys, who love all the oppressed, especially if they're left-wing like themselves, or in the favourite group that left-wing people have decided to support. And you can check this up. Check this up, see who's supporting us, see who's against us, and make comparisons of your own. Also, everything that I'm about to say, you can check it up on the media, you can check it up in the relevant sources. You can see that it pans out that it is correct. At present, all the heads of states, the politicians, the leaders of countries, or most of them, are doing what their left-wing media constituents, left-wing media constituents, the determinators of public opinion, are demanding of them that they condemn Israel, that they take steps against Israel. And day by day, hour by hour, this is what is happening. With some of these anti-Semites, it is a passion with them. They live for this. They get an almost sexual gratification out of condemning the Jews, out of attacking the Jews, out of attacking the state of Israel, criticizing the state of Israel, telling lies, slanders, or perversions of the truth, just to hurt the state of Israel, just to hurt the Jewish people. Don't make any mistake about it. That is what they want. Is what keeps them going. Is what they live for. That is their life, their real life. On the 7th of October 2023, Hamas launched an attack, an undeclared war against the state of Israel. They suddenly attacked across the border, across the French, dividing them from Israel. They attacked Israeli citizens, Israeli women, Israeli children. They killed and wounded and raped a great many, and they abducted 251 people. And amongst these captives, too, there were women and children and elderly people, as well as well as other civilians. Up until the 13th of May, it's not long ago, 2025, 148 of the hostages have been returned to Israel. Leaves about 103, most of them have been killed. Possibly 25 of them are still alive. And Hamas will not let them go. Will not let these 25 Israeli captives will not release them. All it takes is for Hamas to release all of the captives that it has in its hands, and for the leaders of Hamas to leave the country, to go to Qatar, to go to Turkey, to go to one of the numerous countries that would be only too happy to receive them, support them, and set them up in luxury wherever they wish to be. And that would solve the problem. Simple. Let the captives go, get out of the country, and leave Israel to clean up the mess that they have created, that Hamas has created. There's all this to say, let Hamas get back 25 Israeli captives, let Hamas release them, let the people of Hamas leave the country. They would not be safe staying there anyway. They have nothing to hang around for anymore. Their lives in the state of Israel in this region are finished. Let them get out and leave. And that is the end of the problem. Then Israel lets an unimpeded flow of food and supplies to go into the country, and for all the aid workers and for all the assistance from all the different agencies can come in and have a party and do what they like and have themselves photographed for mementos of what angels, what great do-gooders, benefactors they were to the poor little Arab citizens whom they helped in their hour of need. Fair enough, that's life. Let them do it. We want them to do it. We would help them do it. Israel would also do it as much as they would, more than they would. They wouldn't do it, Israel would do it. Israel would give medical aid. The Gazans like Israeli medical aid. They've had a lot of experience receiving aid on medical matters from Israel. Israel has a good reputation with them on that matter. And all over the world, we're having demonstrations, we're having protests, and all the media outlets. Israel is being attacked, persecuted, condemned, besmirched, and in some cases, calls from Israel for Israel, on behalf of Israel, also heard. We have to be fair. Also, this report is based upon such information. We too benefit from it. Recently, last week, this passing week, in the Netherlands, that is Holland, in the Netherlands, there was a demonstration in which had about 100,000 participants. You can see the video clips of it, you can see the pictures of it all over the internet, and they all dressed in something red. Red. Why red? Because it represents the red line that they claimed Israel had crossed, was about to cross, and the intervention of other bodies was needed to prevent the Israelis, the wicked Israelis, the so-called wicked Israel, from oppressing the poor little people in Gaza, who Israel was oppressing, according to them. And they all wore these red clothes, symbolising this red line, and it's quite impressive. You see hundreds of thousands of people filling up the streets, filling up the squares, all dressed in red. And these red clothes, sometimes they're t-shirts, sometimes they're other garments. They must have cost anywhere between $10 to $100 each, depending on the individual. You multiply that by 100,000 and you get a lot of money. A lot of money on those red clothes. And if they had have used this money for the sake of the people in Gaza, for instance, to hire charter planes, to fly the people in Gaza to other places that would accept them, that might accept them, they would have done much to alleviate the problem, or at least something. But that apparently did not occur to them. They would rather make a demonstration to harm Israel, to attack Israel, and that is what they succeeded in doing. We identify Israel. We identify the Netherlands as an Israelite nation. We have articles on this, we have books on it, we have video clips about it, and it's quite clear that Zebulun, the tribe of Zebulun, was dominant in the Netherlands. Many of the characteristics of Zebulun are to be found in the Netherlands. Different groups are settled in the Netherlands of the same tribes, have the same names as clans, major tribal groups within the tribe of Zebulun, and they have all the characteristics of Zebulun. It was prophesied that Zebulun would dwell on the coast, on the shores of the seaside, and that is what Zebulun does. That is what they do in the Netherlands. They live on the shores of the sea. More than half the population actually live almost at sea level or below sea level, and the subsoil of the places they live in is sea sand. They are the only people in the world who live on the shores of the sea. And that is what was prophesied about Zebulun. Also, we know that there was a people called Zebulun Goy, that is a people of Zebulun and Hebrew, who settled in that region, and we have numerous other proofs identifying the Netherlands with Zebulun. And also other Israelite groups also settled in that area, such as elements from Manasseh, the tribe of Manasseh, elements from Ephraim, elements from Judah. All of these different groups also settled in the Netherlands. Nevertheless, not everyone in that region are descended from Israel. Possibly more than half of them are not. Possibly more than half of them are non-Israelites. It is now said that up to 60% of the population of the Netherlands is against the state of Israel. So maybe they're the non-Israelites amongst them. It could be. We have to face up to this. In World War II, Holland was occupied by the Nazis, by the Germans. Many citizens of the Netherlands helped Jews, risked their lives, gave their lives to help Jews. And they even had demonstrations on behalf of the Jews. But alongside that, there were also many collaborators with the Nazis. There are old units in the SS from volunteers from the Netherlands. There are others. Apparently these others were descended from non-Israelite elements amongst them. Also the colour red that they chose the colour red to symbolise the red line that they claimed that Israel was crossing. The colour red is also a symbol of Edom, of Esau, and Esau was also dominant amongst West European peoples. Esau was a brother of Jacob, who's an enemy of Jacob, of Israel. He's also his twin brother, so there are many similarities and psychological parallels between the two groups. And one could interchange with the other. And if you're descended from Edom, from Esau, that doesn't mean that you're a bad person. There were great people from Edom also who helped the Jews, helped the Israelite peoples. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person if you come from non-Israelite stock. But it may be that under certain circumstances, someone who is not descended from Israel will be more inclined to accept calumnies and libels against the Jewish people than someone who is not. They will be more liable or more inclined to support the enemies of the state of Israel and of the Jewish people than to be sympathetic towards the Jews. So this too is a reality that we have to face up to and acknowledge and know what is going on, know what we are dealing with. At present we have a captivity situation. There are still 25 Israelis in captive by the Hamas. The very existence of Hamas is threatening the lives of people in that area, in the areas around them, and all of Israel. We forget that before the present war, almost every week Hamas was firing rockets, numerous rockets that they built with aid money against Israel, against Israeli citizens. They were digging up metal pipes that have been laid down for irrigation and for water supplies to Hamas, to the people of Gaza. They were digging them up and making rockets out of them. Also sending terrorists to attack innocent Israeli men, women and children. And this, we cannot return to that situation. We need a final settlement in which the leaders of Hamas and their major operators get out of the country, or we kill them or they leave. It's up to them. We're giving them the option. And they release the captives, the Israeli captives. And everything is finished. That's a simple situation, and that is what should be made clear to them, and should be made clear to the rest of the world. And Israel is not liable to give in on this point, even though the whole of the world, including elements in Washington, elements all over the Western world, are calling on Israel, condemning Israel, speaking of combining to impose sanctions on Israel. And some of them are also thinking further along those lines. Macron, the president of France, is already speaking on this matter. He is saying that the only permanent solution is a Palestinian state. Apparently a Palestinian state in the land of Israel, not overseas, not in South America where it should be, but in the land of Israel, a Palestinian state alongside the Jewish state. And that is the solution that Macron, the president of France, claims is the only viable solution. In other words, the end of the state of Israel as we know it. The end of the only Jewish state in the world. The end of Jewish independence. The end of the dream of Zionism, of biblical revival that Israel symbolizes, the fulfillment of prophecy, or the beginning of the fulfillment of prophecy. Macron is against it, and apparently elements amongst his advisors are also against it. And that this also applies for all of Europe, is what many of them want, to see the end of Israel. And the Palestinians have become their agents. the tools they use, the tools that they utilize to destroy the state of Israel. That's what the Palestinians are. They're the tools of other elements. They are suffering for others who couldn't care less about them. In the same way as they do not care less about hundreds of other groups all over the world that are oppressed, that are suffering much more than the Palestinians are, and with much less justification. That is much more justification, whose cause is more just than that of the Palestinians. And no one cares about them in hundreds of cases, hundreds of different cases like that. And no one cares, no one hears about it, and if they hear about it, they don't do anything about it, because nothing can be done about it, or because they are not sufficiently motivated to do anything about it. They're only motivated in the case of Palestine because the Jews are involved. If there were no Jews there, no one would care what they were doing. Did anyone care what's happening to the Kurds or to the Alawites now under the Muslims? Or all over the world? Who cares? Who knows? And most of you also don't know. You can hardly be bothered reading about it, let alone doing something. Only when Israel is involved do people act either for Israel or against Israel, because Israel has something that touches an aspect of their soul that they either cannot deal with, or they will deal, or that they will embrace. That is the reality. The biblical verses concerning this captivity situation, Isaiah 61:1 says, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because He has anointed me to preach good news to the poor. He sent me to proclaim freedom for the captives, to open blind eyes, to bring out," Isaiah 42:7, "to open blind eyes, to bring out prisoners from the dungeon, and those sitting in darkness out of the prison house." Isaiah 49:9, "Say to the captives, come out, and to those in darkness, be free. They will feed beside the roads and find pasture on every barren hill. They will neither hunger nor thirst, nor will the desert heat or the sun beat down on them." Isaiah 49:25, "Thus says the Lord, even the captives from the mighty shall be taken away, and the prey of the terrible shall be delivered. For I will contend with him that contends with you, and I will save your children." And if the people of Gaza refuse to leave, they should be encouraged to do so. And most of them would gladly leave, and those who do not would accept the fact, if they had no other choice, like everyone else would in a similar situation. And also there's another option that Isaiah indicates, Isaiah 14:2, "And people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, as captives they were. They shall rule over their oppressors." So that is also an option that many people in Gaza would also accept. But we would rather not do that. We would rather not go there. But the Bible indicates that it exists. At all events, we should turn back to the God Almighty. We should learn the Bible, believe in the Bible, understand what the Bible wants of us, what God Almighty wants of us, of who we are, and may we be guided. May God guide us. Thank you.